June 28, 2013. He has led the Bulldogs to 4 consecutive GLIAC tournament championships and NCAA tournament appearance each of the past 4 years. He took the Bulldogs to the NCAA Division II Sweet 16 while finishing with his first back-to-back 20-win season since the late 80s. You followed him last week. This year, as he led the Bulldogs of Ferris State University to the NCAA Division II National Championship as they beat Northern State University of South Dakota in their own home state and bring the title back home, Big Rapids, isn't it? To Big Rapids, Michigan. Please welcome Coach Andy Bronkema.
First, I'm excited to be here, hanging out with you guys today. It's a pleasure. Second, I just want to thank Brittany for her message. And you can always take something home from a clinic or a forum, and that's one thing we should all take home. Know where that AED is at, know how to administer it. It hit us at Ferris early in the year with a recruit and his dad, and we lost him. And I'm just telling you, what she had to say might be the most important thing that we can hear today. So thank you, Brittany. Second, taking things away from a clinic or a forum reminds me of when I got the head job. I was at the BCAN clinic and listened to a speaker, and he said, you need to know your team. He said, you need to know everything about your team. One of the things he said, you need to know who the best baseball passer is. And I'm a first-year head coach. I'm thinking, all right, writing everything down. And I go back, think, how are we going to find out who the best passer is? So we put in a drill, little 3-man weave, but on the back end, they launched the ball all the way down the floor. And this is a warm-up drill, and we've been doing this drill for 5 years. Now, one of my assistants is a scout for the Reds, so he's a baseball guy. He had a good eye. He said, Andrew Meacham, he's our best guy. I said, we need to know that, Coach. We need to know that. 5 years later, we're fighting for the #1 seed in the region to host a regional. We need to host a regional. You know, every other year we've been going to somebody else's home and losing. So we need that #1 seed. We're at Ashland, and we're down 3 with 1.2 seconds left. Said, home run. We got to run home run. Who's our best baseball thrower? Meacham. He hasn't played yet. We throw him in the game. Throw him in the game. He launches the pass down. It's a perfect pass. Our guy catches it, launches it up, banks it in. We win in overtime. If we don't win that game, we're not going to host a regional. It's a tight race. We're going to go down to Louisville and play again at Bellarmine University. So we go on to host a regional. We win all 3 games at home. Gets us to the Elite 8. And we take care of business there and win the national championship. There's no doubt in my mind that the margin of error would have been very slim if we would have been on the road. So you can pull something away from a clinic. You never know when you're going to use it or how valuable it might be. So they asked me to speak about building a program. So I thought about how we built our program, and I just wrote down a few bullet points. And if you know me, 15 minutes is never enough. So I'll try to cram it in there, and hopefully one of these things might help you win, even if it's 5 years from now. The first 2 things about building a program are fairly obvious, things that we're all doing. Recruiting-wise, it's simple. If you want to win the race, ride a fast horse. You got to find the best players. And luckily, you know, a lot of faces out here have sent us some pretty good players. And we want that to continue to happen. And, you know, you just can't get suckered into all your best friends and their best players. My brother is a community college coach, head coach at Grand Rapids Community College, and I haven't taken any of his players yet. So, and he's had some good ones, all right? There's got to be a good ratio. You need steals, all right? If they're too good or they're a steal, we'll take them. If they're a diamond in the rough, maybe. And we've done well with diamonds in the rough too, by the way. X's and O's. You have to establish and build your program on a few things. You can't be a jack of all trades, master of none. So for us, and in my opinion, all right, it's about those players and recruiting them. The X's and O's, if you can get it to a certain level, okay, and I have a great coaching staff, we can put enough plays out there and a good system. If you're trying to do too much, we have built our program around simple things. We're going to rebound, send forward to the glass. We're going to rebound every day in practice. All right, we are going to rebound relentlessly. We are going to run 5-second scores on offense. All right, we're going to transition and press. All right, and we are going to pass, rebound, run, and pass. We led the nation in assists. Everybody's job to make the open pass. It's not the point guard's job to facilitate the offense. Everybody is a facilitator. And that's what's important to us. That doesn't have to be important to you, but you have to decide when you're building your program what those things are going to be. And for us, less is more. Here's some things that are maybe a little more outside the box for you and building the program. Talking about player development. Everybody knows that's important, developing your players and how you do it. The big thing for me is delayed gratification. And if you can withstand not needing that guy to come in right away and be a big-time player, I think you're going to be better off. And know that down the road, things are going to be better for you if you develop them that way. We play a deep lineup. One of the biggest reasons is, trust me, 8, 9, 10, 11, they're not as good as our starters. They're pretty good, all right? But we play a deep lineup so that someday they can take over. They can stay engaged, all right? They can develop, and it's all intentional. Our All-American National Player of the Year, Zach Hankins, he redshirted. We redshirt a lot of players, which is hard to do, all right? But if you have somebody that's willing to wait for something great, I think it's more powerful. He redshirted in his first year. After that, he played 10 minutes a game behind an all-region center. His sophomore year, he blew up on the scene. He was Player of the Year in the conference, first-team All-American. And we kept investing in him and developing him for delayed gratification. This year, he was Player of the Year in the nation. All right, we may have done it a little too well. He's transferring to Xavier, and we don't get him for senior year. But I'm over it. Off the court time. It's real simple for us. Off the court time, double down, double it. Whatever you're doing right now, do twice as much. And that's hard. It's hard for me. I love to be on the court. I love doing basketball things. Basketball. We have taken basketball off of our calendar, preseason, postseason, during the season, and we've gone off the court. Leadership training, mentality training, team building, whatever it is. I mean, we just ask our players, Coach, we're always together. Yeah, this is what's going to win us the championship. I take that back. This is what's going to give us a chance, a better chance to win the championship. And that's all we're asking for is a better chance. So whatever you're doing, double it. Double the off-the-court stuff. Think about it. All your problems are off the court. When the ball's tossed up, we're all doing pretty good. But things happen off the court. You have to have a culture that's going to be a championship culture. So, team retreats, summer reading. I mean, we go all the way down to what's their leadership style, love language. We do anything we could think of or that we've heard of off the court that might strengthen us as a team. So it's a little outside the box, and you really got to commit to it because it's hard. It's even hard for me because you think you're losing out with time in the court and chemistry. Another thing that helps build programs is the kind of joy of the game, we call it, joy of the game. And this is an old school group we got in here, and I'm an old soul too. I mean, the coaches I had, they were going to beat me down and see how tough I was. And I'd like to do that sometimes too, but it's hard. We talk about this generation, that generation. The kids I have, they need to love it. Otherwise, they're not running through a brick wall. So we find every way we can to make it a blast. And it's hard to do because a lot of times it's not in our nature. We didn't get where we are because we were, just all fun and games. It was hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. But the joy of the game is huge for us. I'm a PE teacher. I spent my first 3 years as an elementary PE teacher. So I'm used to tricking kids into conditioning being fun. And that's what I did as an elementary PE teacher. So one of the things, joy of the game, our conditioning is a little bit different. And we go hard, but we're going to videotape it. We're going to go off of a sand hill on some stairs. We're going to make it look awesome. It's not awesome. And that's just one example. But you have to find ways, whatever you can brainstorm with your staff, you have to find ways for these guys to have a blast. So the joy of the game is a big part of building our program. The last thing, and maybe we'll have some time for questions. I don't know about the format here. We can bring a mic around. I'd love to answer questions and get some back and forth. But if you don't always want to talk about basketball, grow a beard. And then you can talk about the beard, and it will get you off track. So that's a key thing you might want to take away from this clinic. It's been great for us this year. And there you have it. Horatio, do we have time for some questions? Or
2 questions.
2 questions. No question.
Questions?
About the Bulldogs? All right. Thank you.